Welcome to this channel. The topic I'd like to share with you today is looking into today's Chinese martial art mass. Today, when it is about Kung Fu, we can hear that Kung Fu is fake, Kung Fu is not par, Kung Fu is inferior to MMA. There are many questions, many doubts, many slandering. So let's look into the root cause of this mess. Well, this mess started at 2017. It started from the fight between two persons, which we all know. And after the fight, it raises the movement of traditional Chinese martial art is fake, or exposing the fake traditional Chinese martial arts. Well, after 4 years, at 2021 today, after many confrontations of these people, evidence shows it is not a fight between two persons, but a power struggle between two martial art systems. That's what it is. It is not about the fight of two people, but power struggle of two martial art systems. Now, because we have a K criteria now, a criteria which is based on objective, trackable historical evidence and science, we can analyze this stuff, okay? And as you all know, the K criteria is based on the General Qi Guang's martial art writings, and also the ancient Chinese classic and sports science. So K criteria, it is objective and based on trackable history, evidence, and science. So please watch my other video on K criteria if you haven't, or if you are really interested in the details, you can read my book Kung Fu 1560 and the Wing Chun Inception. Now, because we have this, now we can look into what is going on. Now, since this power struggle, since this is a power struggle between two modern China's mainstream system, let's investigate these two martial art systems. This is not about two persons fighting, competing. This is a power struggle between two modern China's mainstream systems. So instead of looking at the people, we want to look deeper into what is educating these people to do this stuff. Now we know that this Lei Lei, he is a Taiji or internal or Neijia educated, belongs to that martial art system, which is one of the mainstream in China. Xi Xiaodong, you know, he's educated or brought up from Sanda, which is another modern Chinese mainstream martial art system. So let's look into Taiji and Sanda. What is this thing? How is this two martial art system educated their person, and what is this martial art system is based on? So let's look at Neijia. Neijia is a term in Chinese martial art grouping those styles which practicing Neijing, usually translated as internal martial art, okay, occupied with spiritual, mental, or chi aspect, okay, as opposed to an external approach focused on physiological aspect. The distinct dates to the 17th century, but the modern application is due to publications by Sun Lutang dating the period of 1950 to 1928. Neijing is developed by using Neigong or internal exercise as opposed to external exercise or Waigong. Okay, so this style were enumerated by Sun Lutang as Taiji Quan, Xingyi Quan, and Ba Guo Zhang. So this is Neijia. This is the type of system which this person or Lei is trained in. Okay, so it is dated 17th century, and the modern application is publications by Sun Lutang dating on period 1915 to 1928. Okay, so let's look into the 17th century Neijia. What is it? Okay, and today, of course, today's Neijia is according to Sun Lutang as the Taiji Quan, Xingyi Quan, and Ba Guo Zhang. Now, so this is the root of Neijia art. Okay, so this is the Chinese writing. We want to look at things with evidence, right? So this is the 17th century writing. Okay, 1600. This person who write this epitaph lived in 1610 to 1695. Okay, he's a Ming Dynasty writer. Okay, so this is the epitaph, which is the root of the nature or internal martial arts. Okay, in this epitaph it said Shaolin is famous for its boxing and bravery, but the Shaolin main focus is on beating people, and others can also take the opportunity to fight back. They are so-called inner family or Neijia, okay, who use static to subdue dynamic, and the offender fall down upon their response. Therefore, Shaolin is called as foreign or Waijia or external art. And then it goes on saying that Neijia probably originated from Zhan Sanfeng in Song Dynasty. While Song Dynasty is in the year between 960 to 1274. Okay, this is where Song Dynasty exists. And it said that Zhan Sanfeng was an alchemist of Wudang Mountain. Okay, and the emperor summoned him but was blocked on the road, could not move forward. At night, he dreamed a god named Zhen Wu taught him martial art, and in the morning he killed more than 100 thieves with his own power. So this is Neijia. Okay, this is Neijia, and it is from Song Dynasty, and it starts with a dream by a Taoist. Okay, so this is the 17th century, and then later on in 1915 and 1928, Sun Lutang, okay, and writing about it, and then Sun Lutang relayed that to the Taiji Quan, Xingyi, and Ba Guo Zhang. Okay, so that's where it come from. Okay, so you know about it. Now, let's look into the Sanda. Sanda is created late 1970. Okay, so Sanda is created late 1970s. Now, again, we want to base things on evidence. This is publications on one of the founder of the Sanda, which is the Mr. Mei Huizhi. Okay, so this is black and white. So Mr. Mei Huizhi is one of the founder of Sanda. He is the Sifu of Xi Xiaodong. Okay, this part of the books on Mr. Mei Huizhi is he is writing. The writing is saying that he is a quote unquote invincible fighter who defeat the Taiji grandmaster and other martial art and other kung fu fighters. So here it say that this Mr. Mei Huizhi defeat a grandmaster, okay, a grandmaster here, and then said he was challenged by many people in kung fu, and he defeat all of them. That's why I say that he is like an invincible fighter who defeat Taiji grandmaster and other kung fu fighters. So it is not my opinion here. I just present what is in this book of Mr. Mei Huizhi, which written about him. Now, Mr. Mei Huizhi talk about Sanda. Well, over here and here it said that Sanda is developed based on Western sport and Western boxing. Okay, so that's what it is. Okay, it is a Western sport and Western boxing based art where he add on to some other Chinese stuff. Okay, so that's where Sanda is from. Now, when Mr. Mei Huizhi talk about the Chinese history, according to him, okay, and again, this is the evidence. According to him, based on Chinese history, Chinese Kung Fu peaked at Tang Dynasty, which is year 618 to 970. And at that time, it became artistic and mysterious type. So Chinese Kung Fu become artistic and mysterious type at this dynasty. And then at Song Dynasty, at 960 to 1279, Chinese Kung Fu evolved into useless set and dance type of demonstrations. Again, this is just translate what in the from the writing from the book, according to Mr. Mei Huizhi. Okay, and then here it said that between Ming and Qing dynasty, around 1660, the Chinese Kung Fu fused with breeding methods. So this is what Mr. Mei Huizhi have in his book, which describe him or introduce him. Okay, invincible fighter who defeat who defeat grandmasters, and here it is a Taiji grandmaster. Specifically, somebody specifically say that this is a Taiji grandmaster. Okay, and then here it say that he defeat many kung fu fighter. Okay. And here he is presenting Sanda is from Western sport and Western boxing. Here is his view on traditional Chinese Kung Fu or Chinese martial art, where thousands of years ago it became artistic and mysterious. And 1,000 years ago, it has become user set and dance type of demonstrations. And about 400 years ago, it fused with the breeding methods. Okay, so this is his view. Okay, and this is what we know about Sanda. and from the Sanda's founder. Okay, so this is what Sanda know. Okay, now with the criteria, K criteria, which we know today, based on the Chinese history, which is trackable, and science, let's use the K criteria to analyze these two types of martial arts, namely the Neijia and Sanda. Okay? So let's use the history and the science and the facts to see what is this two martial art type presenting. The first thing is here. It says that Shaolin is famous from his boxing bravery. Okay, so the Neijia defeat the Shaolin here. The second here is that the Neijia is created by Zhang Sanfeng in the Song Dynasty, and he was learned from the dream. Okay. Now, well, from the 1960s or 1279 to now, there are about 1,000 years, okay, or 800 years. Okay, today is 2020. Okay, at least 800 years. Now, hello, where is General Qi Guang, the guy who fight to save the country from the Japanese pirate in 1560? How come General Qi Guang is not mentioned there if you want to talk about Chinese martial art? And how come in General Qi Guang's writing there is no mention of this, where General Qi Guang is in history well known in fighting the Japanese pirate? And also, isn't it that Shaolin is Ming military base, as shown in my book, the Kung Fu 1560? Okay, in this book, by evidence, this is Shaolin. Okay, sorry, this is Shaolin. This is Shaolin using the General Qi Guang's material. This is the Ming Dynasty Tang Sunzhi's writing, military. This is military, Ming military. This is Shaolin. So this guy, Wang Zhongxi, who wrote the epitaph, is the person in 1610 and 1695. And this epitaph, of course, is writing in between this time. And he completely missing what happened in 1560s in China. Completely blank it out and have no idea that Shaolin is Ming military base. So that is how this Neijia epitaph, the root of Neijia, is. Okay? It is not according to Chinese history. As for the Sanda, we know that it is a Western boxing based type of art. This is created by one of the founder, which is Mei Huizhi himself. And then when he come here talk about the based on Chinese history, Chinese Kung Fu peak at Tang Dynasty, become artistic and mysterious type, and at the Song Dynasty, about 800 years ago, become useless set and dance type demonstrations, and in the Ming Dynasty, it fused with the breeding. Now all this writing, that's by evidence. Well, hello. which Chinese history are you based on to come up with this thing? Okay? It is okay if you are not traditional Chinese martial art, but based on Western sport and based Western boxing. That's good that you're honest saying that. Now, however, this part of the Chinese history is that it just really not accord to Chinese history. Not to mention, since he is a Chinese martial artist himself, the founder of Sanda, soon he should know General Qi Guang, the guy who fight to save the country from the Japanese pirates. Qi Guang is the Chinese national hero. And soon he know about the teaching of General Qi Guang, which is the momentum combinations, or we call it the Q model today. This is from chapter 14 of General Qi Guang. Okay, so this is momentum, functional training, okay, speed, unable to respond to unrecognized attack. This is the 4 aspects, which is here. This is the three-dimensional momentum play, which is consists of ground fight, short strike, and long fist. And this is the momentum combinations. Okay, in writing. Now, so the question is, what is Chinese history? What is Chinese history? Is Chinese history according to whoever like to say whatever? Just because one is famous or one is well known, one can make up their Chinese history. Okay? You can see here. Okay? They talk about Chinese history which is not based on Chinese history. And you can talk about, you can see from here too. The Naja guy talk about Chinese history, which is not Chinese history, but who know where it's from. Okay, and this is not accord to the reality. And so, one thing we can see from this two type of writing is that it is very self-centered, objective mentality. Why? In here, it said right away, okay, how the nature can defeat Shaolin. Over here, Mr. Mei Huizhi here is posting that he defeat the Taiji Grandmaster, and then he defeat the many Kung Fu fighters. Well, this is using oneself or one system, very subjective mentality, okay, to describe other things. So that is the reality of these two type of arts, the Neijia and Sanda. So from here, you see that none of these people have any idea on General Qi Guang's works. Okay? Have no idea on this thing, which is based on historic fact, and you can prove it with science. Okay? So, by the K criteria, both Taiji and Sanda school are not based on proper Chinese education, Chinese history. Okay, both Taiji and Sanda school are not based on proper Chinese history, by evidence, as I just showed you. Okay. Both this school, not knowing the traditional Chinese martial art based on General Qi Ji Guang 1560, which influenced the later Chinese, Korean, Okinawan, Japanese martial art. Well, this is a international, a worldwide influential. Okay, it is never on this stuff. Okay, it is never on this stuff. Never on this, like the talk about the Tang Dynasty, the Song Dynasty, mysterious, flowery, or dance-like, and not something from dream either. Okay? Not like this dream. You dream one night and the next morning you can kill more than 100 thieves with his own power. Okay? So the reality, the fact, the truth is people, Sanda and Taiji people, or the Neijia people, or these two people, is educated with whatever it is, not according to Chinese history and Chinese martial arts. What we know from all this now, since years ago or decades ago, 100 years ago, is it is a politic stuff where Neijia fighting Shaolin. So because Neijia fighting Shaolin, one is called that the Neijia is called the Shaolin is an external. Okay. Is 外加 external art, while Neijia clueless that Shaolin is actually Ming Dynasty military, where Shaolin is based on that Ming military art, which is using to defeat or to clean up the pirate mess. Okay, that is what Neijia is. It's the politics. Okay. And again, the Sanda now fighting Taiji, calling Taiji is a fake. So now it become like this, okay? It become that the Neijia people call the Shaolin is external, foreigner, okay? And then now the Sanda people is calling the Taiji is fake. So this is real, this is fake. MMA or Sanda, Xi Xiaodong is a Sanda guy, now he practiced MMA, so MMA is real, the Taiji is fake, okay? So the Western sport influence or the Western boxing influence or base, Sanda is real, then Taiji is fake, okay? The Taiji cannot fight. And then here Taiji called Shaolin is external, Taiji is internal. Well, this is all politics, which is based on their own perspective. Okay, of course, everybody can have their freedom of thinking, but again, this is not according to whatever the Chinese history, trackable Chinese history. This is their own claim that the Neijia is internal, the Shaolin is external. Same thing here. The MMA, the Sanda is real in fighting, and the Taiji stuff is the fake. So here you see the Taiji versus Shaolin, and then this is the Sanda versus Taiji. It's just whatever politics go around, come around. Okay. So that is by evidence what we can see today. Okay. It's not opinion anymore, it's by evidence. Now, the questions of the motivation is it to help Chinese culture or for personal gain? Is it personal gain more important than Chinese culture? Well, you can see this from based on the evidence I share with you on this thing. They are playing their politics on the expense of the Chinese culture. That's what we see today by evidence. Okay? So, the conclusion is none of these two parties of people or system are objective and following Chinese history fact. They are not. So, to clean up this mess, Kung Fu need to go back to use General Qi Ji Guang 1560 Kung Fu as a standard reference. One need to go back to General Qi Ji Guang's writing and teaching as the standard reference. So this is what I'd like to share with you. Now you can see the guy who claimed to expose fake do not know. The guy who claimed to expose fakes do not know what is the traditional Chinese martial arts. His school doesn't know. The founder of the school or the system doesn't know. The guy who claimed to have internal, where Shaolin is foreigner, external, he too doesn't know what is traditional Chinese martial art and the history of China. Okay, so the fake and the real, by their view, both have no idea on what is going on traditional Chinese martial art. And so all this mess is not helping Chinese culture to evolve to better, but it is using the Chinese traditional martial art culture and Chinese history as something to promote themselves. Okay, so this is what by evidence it shows.